It's my honor at this time to call on Sally Scott, Betham's president, for a few remarks.
Thank you, Rabbi Berg. Betham congregants here in Shul and streaming, our dedicated and talented clergy and staff, and our High Holy Day guests, this is a day of repentance and also of gratitude. As your president, I am starting to find my way after nearly 4 months in this challenging, rewarding, and humbling role. Today, I want to share 3 thoughts with you. First, a brief history of my experience at Betham. Second, why I believe that in these unsettling and unpredictable times, finding community through our congregation is particularly valuable. And third, how our upcoming 50th anniversary will create new ways to learn, connect, and celebrate as a community. My husband, Jimmy Potash, and I started coming to Betham in 1990 after 2 years in the Peace Corps and several more years trying to find a spiritual path that made sense to us. Jimmy had grown up Jewish, but without religious belief or practice in his family, while I had grown up Episcopalian. However, I had lost that faith and practice during college. When we first came to Betham, I engaged in services as a non-Jewish participant. I found the liturgy beautiful and mysterious, and the sermons insightful and challenging. Jimmy and I felt immediately welcomed by other congregants. So I made the life-changing decision to become a Jew by choice. I studied with Rabbi Ira Schiffer, and I took the plunge, literally in the Beth El Mikveh, on September 9th, 1993, by coincidence, perhaps, almost exactly 30 years ago. Becoming Jewish, specifically becoming Jewish within the context of Betham and Reservoir Hill, was one of the most meaningful decisions of my life. For many years, I participated in the Social Action Committee, which is now SEDEC Betham, and worked closely with community members and Reservoir Hill residents. I came to understand that Betham is one player in a much larger and still unfolding process of neighborhood change. What I was learning about Judaism in services, classes, and readings, and what the Social Action Committee was doing in Reservoir Hill and beyond were inextricably intertwined. I came to admire the persistence of the neighborhood's long-term residents and the important work of other organizations to uplift Reservoir Hill. However imperfect or unfinished Betham's role is in this process of change, and it is truly imperfect and unfinished, we remain deeply committed to our neighbors. In the 2000s, our sons, Joshua and Jacob, had their bar mitzvahs at Betham. These were joyful, but also nerve-wracking events, because neither Jimmy nor I had become B'nai Mitzvah ourselves. Thank goodness for this community to help us make that happen. Even when Jimmy and I moved to Iowa in 2011, we came back to Betham often on the Shabbat after Thanksgiving, and we were warmly welcomed by our friends here. When we returned to Baltimore in 2017, Betham was an important part of that homecoming. Over these 30-plus years, I've come to understand there are many ways to be a member of Betham, and all are valid. As congregants, we are multifaceted people who have friends, families, jobs, and volunteer commitments that pull us both to Shul and away from Shul. While Judaism is at the core of our being, we find emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual fulfillment in different ways. Right now, we all recognize that these are difficult times. Our country has become dangerously polarized, our democracy is at risk, and extreme weather events are increasingly common. In this unpredictable context, Betham offers each of us an overarching Jewish community of meaning and belonging, as well as smaller communities focused on different aspects of life within and outside of shul. We gather here for beautiful and meaningful Shabbat and holiday services. We also have circle groups that go hiking in the great outdoors or organize special events for our LGBTQIA+ community and allies. We have a vibrant, rapidly growing Jewish Discovery Lab for our children and a newly created Hazak group for our older congregants. Our congregant-to-congregant committee helps our members in times of need, while Tzedek Beth Am undertakes service, advocacy, and relational justice in Reservoir Hill, throughout Maryland and beyond. In classes taught by Rabbi Berg and Rabbi Dratch, and the offerings of our Lifelong Learning Committee, we study the endlessly fascinating facets of Judaism. As I have found, there is always more to learn. Beth Am offers much more than I can capture in one short speech. My point is that if you want to pray, to learn, to socialize, to exercise, to eat together, to counteract the anxiety, isolation, and fragmentation that afflict our world, Beth Am has an activity or a group that will welcome you. Looking ahead, there will be new ways to connect when we celebrate Beth Am's 50th anniversary, which starts Shabbat Hanukkah 2024 to Shabbat Hanukkah 2025. We're just starting to plan the 50th anniversary now under the extremely capable leadership of co-chairs Julie Gottlieb and David Finkler. We will have a year of learning and celebration built around our core values and practices, the Torah of Beth Am. We plan to commission a new Torah scroll, and all Beth Amers will have the opportunity to participate in this remarkable process of creation. We will work with our existing committees and programs and develop a dynamic set of 50th anniversary activities that will enrich our community's knowledge of and engagement with Torah writ large. Our 50th celebration is a L'Dor V'Dor moment, a time when we are blessed to have many founding and formative members here to share their experiences so that all of us can carry their stories and wisdom forward. We're also blessed that so many of our members have made financial commitments to build Beth Am's endowment through the Tradition and Transformation Capital Campaign and Plan Gifts through the Potts Legacy Society. Thank you to all who build our community with your presence, caring, and financial support. Finally, when people ask me what it's like to be president of Beth Am, I acknowledge that I am busier than I have been in a long time. However, the predominant feeling I have had since becoming president is one of gratitude. I'm grateful for the engaging services led by Rabbi Berg, Rabbi Dratch, and Abby Woloff, and enriched by our dedicated choir, our Torah and Haftarah readers, as well as our Gabbai honors coordinators and greeters. I'm grateful for our multi-talented staff led by Executive Director Alex Pomerantz. Our staff work incredibly hard to make our services and programming possible and to keep our building beautiful and functional. I'm grateful for every member of the board, as well as committee chairs and committee members who generate meals, classes, speakers, concerts, service opportunities, access to solar panels, you name it. I'm grateful for all of you, our congregation, who are the core, the heart of Beth Am. And I'm grateful for my family, especially my husband, Jimmy, who shares my love of Beth Am. So today, please consider what aspects of Beth Am bring you joy and meaning, or could bring you joy and meaning as you deepen your connections to our shared Jewish community. L'Shana Tova T'katenu.